and people are celebrating that victory. We are not worried. We are not worried about it because we know the realities on the ground. I went to Lusangazi, I went to Mukushi, and I went to Mwense. That result doesn't mean anything. If you ask Her Honor the Vice President, in her heart of hearts, she will tell you what she found in Mwense. And I'm hoping that when they're making decisions, they're trying to correct the situation, they will not use the results that they got in that by-election. They will actually go down and use the reality on the ground to make decisions, because they know what actually transpired. IP, the moment a ruling party resorts to violence, is a constructive admission that they're losing power. That's a constructive admission that they're losing popularity, because they've got the state machinery and everything on their side. But they even go further to begin to brutalize people. They allow their cadres to brutalize people at the police station in full view of the police. That is the first sign that the party is at its weakest. And now that you've heard so much about the UPND talking about the first time, I also want to report to you, IP, that it's for the very first time in the history of our country that a party loses its popularity to the extent that UPND has done in the first 1 year. It's for the very first time. There is no political party in this country that has lost its popularity at the rate that the UPND has done. So when you hear praises of what they have done or remaining in power, there is no ordinary citizen, ordinary Zambian that has ever said that. An ordinary citizen is saying 2026 Wafuye. But the leaders themselves in the UPND are saying we're here for 50 years. So I'm sure you can tell the difference. The Zambians are saying they can't wait for another 3 years with this kind of leadership. But the leaders are saying we're here for 50 years. So who should you believe?
And if Zambians were to make a change, really, come 2026, do you think they can revote the PF back into office, or maybe they will go for another political party? Looking at the trend, which, you know, where we're coming from as a country, it appears that Zambians, whenever they move, they don't look back.
No. I think that is that example doesn't really stand in this particular case. I think you remember that when PF took over power, they began to perform. It was very difficult for the MMD to compete. Because look at what they did. They changed policies, introduced early childhood education, for instance. You had early childhood centers in villages. Children were going to school, nursery school. Okay, they began to build roads. So as an opposition political party then, it was very difficult to campaign because people were simply saying, Lekeni wanenu Bombe, you know, please give them chance. It's different now. Nobody's saying give them chance. In the first few months, yes, you had callers saying, no, why don't you give them chance? Nobody's saying that anymore. People are simply saying, no, we can't put up with this. So that is the difference. So when you want to give an example of PF and MMD, the PF performed. In the first 1 year, they were not in the situation that the UPND is now, right now. They were not firefighting, you know, on fertilizer distribution, drugs distribution, and so on. If anything, it was a continuous celebration because PF continued to make pronouncements, you know, that were very progressive, transforming the nation. So therefore, it was difficult for the former ruling party to really bounce back. Not as the case stands. And to answer your question, the people are a bit hesitant now to do experiments. They did an experiment with the UPND, and I think the results have been dire. You know, the results have been too ghastly to contemplate. And people are saying, look, now that you are rebranding and doing away with cadreism, which was a major factor that saw you out of power, because there were two major factors that you know, came out of a post-mortem report. Number one was cadreism. Number two was the cost of living. Now people are saying the cost of living at that time, yes, you know, was relatively high. But now we can't even talk about it. We are better off, you know, with the cost of living as it stood when PF was in power compared to now. So meaning the one major factor that remains there is that of cadreism. And you can see that even throughout the by-elections, we told our members, do not hit back, don't retaliate. And I think the Zambian people can see the difference that we are making as a party in doing away with violence. And that having been a major factor, I strongly believe that the Zambian people can indeed give us a second chance, given the record that we have in infrastructure development and indeed social protection policies for the poor.
Today you seem to be complaining, to be victims of the political violence that happened across the country when they just ended by elections. And Zambians feels that the political violence that we have today, we are being, orchestrated, or you are the architects of this political violence, because when you were in power, like you have mentioned, your party was known for political violence. And why should you today begin to complain over the things that also you possibly, maybe, for lack of better words, tolerated in your political party?
Mapatizia formula was a UPND formula that they used to cause violence in elections. If you had monitored elections back in the day, in Mufumbwe, where people died, people were injured, it was UPND versus MMD. The Mapatizia formula and all that. Yeah. So what remains a fact is that both UPND and PF were violent political parties. That remains a fact. The only difference is that one political party has since repented, and that is the PF. And because we have repented and have instructed our members not to retaliate, the UPND are totally exposed. I've come on this platform and advised our friends in the UPND that maybe going forward, they need to conduct clinics for their members to teach them how to campaign peacefully. Because that's something that they've never known. They're having difficulties now, IP, because they've never conducted peaceful campaigns. The only campaign they know is violent campaigns. So even when you just allow them, to go and campaign in an area, first of all, if it's in their strongholds, they won't allow anyone to even file in. Members, our members are not allowed to file in, in their areas. Secondly, if you manage to file in, polling agents will be kicked out of polling stations. And Zambians have played a blind eye to this. That is what is happening out there. So now they are coming to our areas, continuing with their violence. Okay? Now, my advice to them is that now they are the ruling party. Let them try by all means to teach their members that it is possible to campaign peacefully and win an election. And only then would they be proud, to celebrate their victories.
Are these members being provoked from the UPND, such that maybe sometimes they can't contain the pressure, hence they have to fight back? I was hosting a UPND member here last evening, and he told me that in Mwense, Mukoshi, Lusangazi, they were being provoked by your members, the Pederi Front members, hence some of them, they had no option but to retaliate. And where do you think is the problem? As you answer that question, the second question, or a follow-up question to that, is that where do you think is the problem? Because we've got the President Hakainde Hichilema in power today, who has vowed not to entertain political violence.
And you believe that?
And also his ministers are on record. Honorable Mwetwa, he was actually on radio last week. He did mention that whoever is going to perpetuate violence, you will be on your own. So why do you think is the problem? Under your PF, you are being accused that you lacked the leadership to fight the political violence, and now under the UPND again, we still have these problems. Where is the problem?
If the UPND members claim that they're being provoked, it was at Samba Police where the UPND cadres went and beat up the police. I don't know who provoked who. It was the UPND cadres that went to the High Court and beat up members of the PF that had escorted Honorable Mao Sampa and Shaka Fuso to the High Court. That was within 100 meters of the service headquarters. They beat up somebody in full view of one of the ministers and the police. It was the UPND cadres that went to beat up a district education board secretary in Kafue. I don't know who provoked who. It was the UPND cadres that went to Kasama and beat up a civil servant, a lady in the office. I don't know who provoked who. So if they claim they're being provoked, I've just given you examples away from elections. The truth of the matter, IP, is that we have a lot of cadarism in the UPND.